Disclaimer, I do not own any rights to any content, videos, research, music, unless it is of my own creation. Everything is for entertainment and commentary purposes. All information is of my own opinion or are alleged until factual evidence has been presented. Cue the music. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of All Things Easy. Here is my take. Y'all, today is Thursday. I hope everybody had a wonderful day today. Y'all, I was going to do an episode about the update of Nicki and Meg and, Halle Bailey and the Grammys and stuff like that. But I'm like, nah, I got to scratch that episode because I got to get on here and I got to talk about the Uncle Shay podcast interview that he did with Auntie Monique. I had to get on here because I need to talk about it. So if you have not heard or if you have not seen it, the interview with Monique, I knew it was going to do numbers. Do I think that it's going to do more numbers than Cat Williams? I don't think so, but I knew that it was going to do numbers because what better person to have on your platform, Shannon Sharp, after Cat Williams, no other than Monique, because them are some of the most I'ma call you out persons I've ever seen in the entertainment industry. Like, they literally don't give two fucks, but they do stand on business. And that's what I like about them too. Although her interview wasn't as comical as Cat Williams was, but I still really, really enjoyed it because she talked with poise. She didn't talk with attitude. She wasn't loud. She wasn't ghetto. She was just there speaking what she believed to be her truth and what happened to her. And honestly, some of the stuff she said I didn't hear about. And we're going to get into some of those things later on in the episode. But y'all, this is a really, really good episode. And again, Cat Williams has set the tone for people to be comfortable enough, or Shannon Sharp makes people more comfortable to come onto his platform to be able to speak their piece. And Cat Williams he's the leader of that. So it's only a matter of time before they get somebody else that we really, really want to hear from on this show. Because she done dropped some names too. She touched on a lot of good points. She made good sense with a lot of things. I am going to talk about something that I kind of disagree with her on. And I'll talk about that later on with the DL Hughley situation. But other than that, the interview was great. It was damn near 3 hours long. I like interviews like this. I like it when the interviewer allows the interviewee to be able to talk. And I like the interviewer to ask different questions. And sometimes that should be questions just off the top of your head, not on a reading card or whatever. But because a lot of these journalists, interviewers, or what have you, they are very, very redundant with questions. Like, it's not too many people that's in that profession that will ask the hard-hitting questions that the people want to know. Because I can't even tell you how many times, somebody asked, I'm just use Chloe and Halle as an example. What do Beyonce tell you guys? What kind of advice do she give y'all? Like, that's redundant. Like, they have said that so many times and people still asking it, and like it's redundant. So I'm really glad that Shannon did ask some of the standard questions, but he also asked other types of questions to help get more out of Monique that we may not have been privy to. Like, I really enjoyed him touching on where she grew up and why she doesn't associate with her family, because for the longest time I just know for her to say she don't mess with her family, but now I have a more in-depth understanding of why she does not. So yeah, I'm going to be playing a couple of clips of this interview, and after each clip I'm gonna come back with my commentaries.
Now, to Tyler Perry's credit, Tyler Perry called us up, right? And he said, I can see the pain in you and I can hear it. And I want to let you know that I would never do nothing to hurt you. But the conversation, Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied.
Okay, y'all. So y'all just watched the snippet of her talking about Tyler Perry. Y'all, I'm just be honest. Like, I like Tyler Perry. I liked his plays. I liked his movies. Like, I really liked what he was doing. When he was coming up, he made sure to have black people working and all those things. And he was, helping people out and all those things. And it just seems like over the course of time, and especially when he hit that $1 billion status or what have you, you definitely can see a change in him. I don't care what nobody says. Him having the finances that he has, the assets, accolades, whatever you want to call it, that he has now, somewhere he has allowed for that to shape him in a different way when it comes to certain things. I thought it was very, very noble of him that he gave his home to Prince Harry and Meghan when they were going through their situation and they came to the States to live. Like, I felt like that was a noble thing, and they allowed him the ability to be the godfather of their child. So, like, he has done a lot of great things for a lot of people, and his work is good to a lot of people. So I'm not going to take that credit away from him, but I do feel like there has been a little shift in his demeanor and how he carries himself now that he is in this billionaire status, and when Monique told the story the first time that I heard it, that she told the story about the Precious movie and how they wanted her to promote pretty much for free because they wasn't trying to pay her, and she's on vacation with her family, and Tyler Perry goes on to do this smear campaign because she wasn't playing the game that the powers that be wanted her to play. And for him to get on the phone, contact her, and say, I was wrong, I did say some things to, make it hard for you, whatever the case may be. I'm paraphrasing, but y'all get my drift. He actually admitted to doing wrong against Monique on this little recording that they have, right? And it makes you think, like, why would Tyler stoop so low to go that far to degrade a black woman, to stop a black woman from feeding her family, to her, missing millions of dollars of opportunities. This is a man that put people in positions, a lot of black, up and coming artists in positions to have a job, to make money, to do all these things. But at the same time, you're bullying someone who has been in the industry for so long, who has made a name for herself. Like, you pretty much just shitted on her because you're friends with Oprah. Like, I don't understand, why would he stoop that low? Is it because his hands was tied and they probably told him, if you don't help me do this, then we gonna take this away from you, take that away from you? I literally want to know why he did it. Because it seems like Monique never had no issues with Tyler Perry. So I'm not understanding why he felt the need to jump on the bandwagon. See, this is when I knew, like, yeah, this money is changing him. It's changing him. And it don't look good. And it's sad to say that over the course of years, his TV shows, his movies, his things like that has not been hitting when he first came out. It's not hitting. And I love Tyler Perry. I think he's a great writer, a great producer. Like, I feel like he's very, very good in that area. But I also feel like he's kind of out of touch with reality. A little bit. But I just feel like I don't know. That just rubbed him the wrong way when she told me that he did that. And then he turned around to admit it. And now people are trying to speak up for Monique and trying to reach out to Tyler Perry to try to talk to him and try to, get him to see that all you gotta do is just make amends and apologize, and whatever the case may be. Like, if she wants a apology publicly, then that's what you need to give her, because technically you humiliated her to the public by going on this smear campaign. So when I believe you said when Kevin Hart reached out to him to try to get him to rectify the situation, he tells Kevin, I'll sit down with her until she apologizes to me. And I'm thinking, well, what does she need to apologize to you for, Tyler? Because she didn't do anything to you. What, does she need to apologize to you because she recorded your conversation? And so now you really looking stupid, and you tucking your tail in between your legs. Now you ashamed because you opened up your mouth and you admitted to something that you did not think that she was going to have the balls and the common sense to record for her benefit. See, he didn't think that Monique was smart enough to record that shit. Like, yeah, like, only thing that I could think you could tell her that you want to apology for is for that reason right there. But she was not in the wrong for doing it. And she was in the legal right to do it, because in their state, they can record. And then when he said that he will meet with her, but not with her husband, but it's like, he is her manager. So you don't want to meet, forget that he's her husband. She has a manager. So you don't want to meet with nobody but with her, so that you could try to say it's your word against mine. Nobody was in the room with us when we were discussing these things. And so that you could probably sell her some more bullshit to try to get her to stop talking, because it's going to make you look bad. Like, no. And I feel like she did right. If my manager can't be in the same room while we have this conversation, then I'm not going to converse with you, and I'm not giving you an apology, because I did nothing wrong. And the fact that her husband is always around as a husband and a manager. These men in this industry cannot deal with that. And I'm starting to see it. And you know what? I'm going to save that piece at the end. Her talking about her husband and everything like that. I'm going to say that at the end. Let's go ahead and get into more into the Kevin Hart snippet that she talked about.
Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, Aunt, you're like my sister. Okay? Then we do the podcast. For he said, I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler. I appreciate that. Kevin Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
let me say that before we go any further, because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, here you go. We're forever grateful. Executive produce, I'll partner with you. I said, good shit, Kevin, because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it's go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said, Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So as soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now. I said, wait a minute. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him.
When it comes to Kevin Hart, you really would and truly should believe that when one person say he's a plant, okay. But when another person says that he's a plant, then you gotta tend to believe that shit. Like, you gotta believe it. When she said that he said he was gonna reach out to Tyler, he was gonna talk to him, try to smooth this situation out. It didn't work out. He offered his services and to put up money to, record this and do this and executive produce this and all of that. And then turn around and reneged on that situation. That really tells you the type of man that Kevin Hart is. Now, again, I don't know. Maybe the powers that be got in his ear because he was at the height of his career at that time when she was telling the story about Tyler Perry. Maybe they got to him and said, you better not work with her. You better not do this with her. You better not do that with her. And then so forth. What he was offering her and didn't come through. It's just like, they done got to you too. They done got to you too. But what I will say is, I do feel like Monique jumped the gun. Because although Kevin fronted her some money so that she can get by to do whatever she needed to do, they paid him back. They felt that he was a genuine person. They felt, okay, we don't have no issue with this man. There's no reason for us to dislike this man. He helped us out in our time of need. We paid him back. He's a stand-up guy. And here it is. He reneges on you. Because she was saying that they was going to try to get the TV show back up and running or what have you. And that, Kevin said he was going to back her, whatever she wanted to do. I feel like Monique should have waited to say those things to the, I guess it's the production company or the network or whatever company that she was conversing with to try to get her TV show back up and running. She should have waited until something was concrete in stone, written down in contract form. Because now it makes it seem like she was desperate. It makes her look even more more crazy, because now Kevin can say, well, it was her word against mine. I never said that. I never promised that I would do it. And I never said when I was going to do it. I offered. That don't mean that I was going to do it right then and there. So I feel like Monique jumped the gun with that. I wish she would have just waited until they actually sat down together to really talk about some things. Because at that point, I feel like, okay, now they're trying to make her look like a fool. They're trying to make her look like a fool. But now let's skip over to, the little Al Sharpton for a hot second. She said she talked to Al Sharpton. She let Al Sharpton listen to the Tyler Perry recording. He told her, this is not right. He shouldn't have done this to you. And we're going to get this rectified. She said months went by. She didn't hear from him. And then all of a sudden, he done popped up on the TV talking about, we don't need to fly so-and-so. We got the Tyler Perry jet or some shit like that. So at that moment, she said, I know whose side he's on now. But we all know Al Sharpton now. Come on, y'all. If you old enough, you know about Al Sharpton, and you know about his flip-flop turncoat ways. Y'all know. He is for them. He is not for us like everybody thinks he is. I'm sorry. I feel too, he's a puppet. He's a plant. I'm sorry. Because yeah, he may have marched with some of the influential people like Martin Luther King and all that type of stuff. I'm not going to even take that away from him. But outside of those civil rights and, things of that nature, what has he concretely done for the Black community? Because it seems like he only comes out when there's a discrepancy about something, or they need for him to come and smooth out situations amongst the Black community. What has he done that has been a big staple in the Black community that made headlines? And I'm being very, very sincere. I am 41 years old, and in my 41 years, I don't recall anything. So if you are older than me and you can tell me some major events or things that he has done for the Black community, then I can retract my statement. But other than that, I don't see him doing any of that. Nowhere. Now, granted, it may not be because I don't see it. Don't mean it ain't being done. But hell, motherfuckers ain't even talking about it. So I'm not surprised that Al Sharpton did that. They probably bought him off and told him, don't help her out. Don't do nothing. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. And let her be. Because she's hard to work with. She's hard to deal with. I wonder if he watched this interview. And I want to know what his response will be to what she said he did, how he treated the situation. Because if you ain't never reached out to her to even say, I apologize, I got busy. Like you ain't even say anything to her. You just ghost her. And all of a sudden you talking about Tyler Perry's done private jets and shit. Like what? So I would really like to hear his explanation of that, because that's given very much, they bought your ass again. Y'all, when I tell y'all, Monique was not holding nothing back. She wasn't holding nothing back. Now let's go ahead and get into the next snippet of Tiffany Haddish. Because, baby, listen. Take a look.
I remember our beautiful sister Tiffany Haddish did an interview with GQ magazine. And this, in my humble opinion, is where we keep throwing each other under the bus. You're doing an interview with GQ magazine, and the conversation turned to Monique. And she said, well, I don't do business like Monique do business, and I'm glad I don't have that husband of hers. If you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs. If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up in what looks like you could have been grooming a child.
Y'all, did Auntie not clock her? Did she not clock her? Did she not get her together real quick and real fancy and real elegant? Did she not get Tiffany Haddish ass together? Baby, when I tell you, when I seen that and I heard her say those things, I felt the chill go throughout my body because, baby, listen. She has a point to a certain extent. She has a point. If Tiffany Haddish had a strong man by her side, somebody that could actually guide her to make better decisions, she wouldn't have had 2 DUIs. She wouldn't have been caught up in no fuck shit with this allegedly child grooming that she did with Ari Spears. If she had a team of people to say, no, this don't look good. This don't look good. You doing this little, miniseries, commercial, whatever the fuck it was. This does not look good. But because she wanted to get on so bad, she couldn't read in between the lines on how that looked. And it came to bite her in the ass many years later. And she suffered from that. And she has not been right since. So for you to say, oh, I don't know nothing about her situation, I'm just glad I don't got no husband like hers. And it's like, but in a sense, you kind of need a husband like hers. You, if not a husband, you really just need somebody that you can trust, that will have your best interest at fucking heart. And to make sure that you ain't out here like a loose fucking cannon, girl, because you out here just doing all types of shit. But she got her together real smooth and baby, listen, I think that was the best part of the whole damn interview. That was the best part for me. She got her together. She wasn't mean about it or any of that. She set her ass straight, okay? I was like, bloop, and there it is. Bloop, and there it is again. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Tiffany, okay? I just don't think she's funny. I think she is in the same boat with Steve Harvey to me. Like, they gotta have the class clown that's willing to do any and everything for a piece of change. So if that means you got to look like a damn fool, then they gonna look like a damn fool for the change. They're dangling money in front of them and they fucking hop skipping and shit to get that money. Like, that's how I see her. She's a Steve Harvey in female form. She is not funny. She is just loud and ignorant. I'm sorry. She's loud. Like, she can't be funny without being loud, without acting a clown. Like, it's a turnoff. And the fact that she has been having a hard time coming back from that Ari situation with them children says a lot. It says that she cannot handle the pressure when shit hits the fan. She don't know how to handle it. And I feel like she does have a drinking problem. I don't think she just started having a drinking problem to where she was getting DUIs. I feel like she always had a drinking problem. It's just that now that she's in the limelight and shit is going against her, it's just being shown more. It's publicized more. But she definitely has a drinking problem, I feel like. And she looks like she don't know how to hold her motherfucking liquor too. Sorry to say. But I enjoyed that part of the interview. I thought that was the best part for me. And I doubt if Tiffany responds. She may respond. I don't know. If she do, I would be like, for what though? Because you said what you said, and she said what she said, and boom, leave it at that. Don't make nothing else out of it that doesn't need to be had, Tiffany. Because you really did sound ignorant when you made that statement. Even though GQ magazine asked you about Monique, you could have just been like, I don't know her situation, but I'm praying for her. Let's move on. But no, you had to say some of the most ignorant ass shit. And that's why Auntie Monique got your ass together. I told y'all earlier that it was something that I really did not agree with Monique on regarding this situation with DL, and that is the situation regarding the daughter and her SA situation, her abuse situation, right? I felt like even though Monique may have felt she was doing a comparison or pretty much saying she can relate to the daughter because her father didn't believe her either, I still feel like that information, that right there, was not a part of the beef that you had with DL. And it shouldn't have been repeated. Although he mentioned it first. But what people don't realize is that his daughter gave him the okay to talk about it. Because they're in their healing stages. They're in a healing process. She gave him the okay to speak on it. And he did say that he did not believe her, and he pretty much chose his friend over what she was saying. That's the part that got people pissed off with DL. You don't never, ever dismiss what your child is saying if they say that they have been touched, abused, or any of those things that has violated them as a person, as a human being. That is your flesh and blood. The fact that you dismissed that girl's pain and her coming to you because she thought that she was able to come to a safe place, which is her father, and then you turn around and you did not believe her. That's a hit. That's a hard feeling, DL. I'm sorry. But nonetheless, I still feel like Monique did not have a right to even speak on that situation. Keep it to what you have an issue with him about, Monique. And that is you claiming that he's always said something about you over the course of years. You said you never spoke ill about him. Then it was about the contract when y'all was going on tour, doing a little comedy shows, and the discrepancy about the headlining and the contract and the memo and all that type of shit. Keep it to that. Keep it to that. Because on this episode, this interview, Monique said family is sacred. Family should not be messed with when it came to them messing with her husband. So I feel like you need to keep your word, Monique. Like, don't bring up nobody else's children in the midst of your beef with their parents. Keep them out of it, especially when it's something sensitive like that. So that's the only thing that I did not like about what she did in the DL situation. Now, everything else, yeah, I'm going to side with her, because how you go to a fellow comedian's radio station to talk about whatever it is that y'all supposed to be talking about, and they play a game of would you rather, have you ever, whatever the case may be, and then you form a question to question the sexuality of her husband. Why would you pose a question saying, would you rather your husband have intercourse with Lee Daniels with the condom, or with somebody else without a condom, which was a female? I forget the name. That shit was so fucking disrespectful. So fucking disrespectful. And the fact that that was your show, DL, you supposed to approve everything that needs to be said on your radio show. I refuse to believe that they just came up with this question just out of thin air and you didn't have nothing to do with it. Why was her husband the butt of the joke? I don't understand. Where did that come from? And this is why people don't like you, DL, because you be throwing a rock and hiding your hands a lot. This should not have even been a question. I'm pretty sure that the interview would have been a great interview if this was not an issue. Okay? You don't play with no man's sexuality like that. You don't do that. And now that I am getting closer to the end of the episode, I'm going to continue to talk about Monique and her husband. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who do question his sexuality. But what Monique loves is what she loves. It's who she's loved. Like, but there's not one thing that you can say. You can't say that he don't be there for Monique. You can't say that. He steps up as a husband and as a manager. The way that she spoke about her husband in admiration, and is grown enough to admit that she had flaws, she had imperfections, she had a childlike mentality, even though she was grown. He helped and guide her to see things differently. He helped her to see her potential. He helped her to see her worth and everything like that. He provided that safe space for her that a lot of us wish we had.
Hey, why is her husband there? Why is he there? It's a sad day when we're questioning why a black man would stand with his black woman. So when you hear black women saying we're the most undervalued, disrespected, underserved, mistreated, violated, exploited, we get all of that. Then you see a black man standing with his black woman saying, not on my watch. And you hear some black men saying, why her husband gotta be there? We're in a sad state of affairs when we begin to...
I heard people saying that, why is he there? Why does he have to be in every interview? Why does he have to be in the background? Why can't Monique do that? Why not?
Why not? Why not? And
now I'll admit, when she openly calls him daddy and he openly calls her mama and the public hears this, it's cringe for a lot of people. It's cringe for a lot of people. And it's like, what can you do? That's their relationship. They are comfortable enough and confident enough in their marriage to be able to call each other that out in public and not be ashamed about it. A lot of us wish we had that type of relationship. And I agree with her wholeheartedly. It is a sad day when you got supposedly grown men dogging him out because he is standing up for his wife. And a lot of y'all men, oh, he just want her money. He just doing this so that he can get paid. She better watch out. If they ever get a divorce, he gonna take her for half of everything that she got, or whatever the case may be. Maybe, maybe not. But why is that a concern? They not headed for the divorce right now. Why is that even a fucking concern? The fact that he stands up for his wife, a lot of y'all so-called men cannot take it, and you can't understand it because you never really was shown on how to properly lead and how to properly feed into your partner to make her her best self. Some of y'all, not all of y'all. And it's like, what do y'all expect for this man to do when he's her manager and her husband? Like, he's going to be there regardless. I think a lot of y'all are just looking at the wrong things, and y'all not trying to listen to the message that's being presented, and y'all just worried about the messengers as if what they're saying means nothing because they are who they are. But they are speaking facts on a lot of shit. So I just wanted to touch on that because I feel like he gets a lot of heat because he is very vocal and he will speak up. A lot of y'all faves that y'all say, oh, relationship goals. Half of those men is not gonna they're not gonna say a motherfucking thing. They gonna stay fucking quiet. See, people don't like when people are strong-minded and strong-willed. And when you do have a solid foundation in a partnership, husband and wife, and y'all go at it, y'all go out into the world together as a team, a lot of people cannot deal with that. They don't understand it, so they can't respect it. I have no foot in the race when it comes to her marriage, but the fact that she is happy in her marriage and she speaks very highly of her husband, and he has helped her to become a better person, a better woman, I have nothing negative to say about it at all. So that's all I wanted to say on that. Okay, y'all. So as I was surfing on my laptop on YouTube, D.L. Hughley was the first person to respond to Monique's claims. How did I know that was going to happen? How did I know that was going to happen? In the words of Megan Thee Stallion, hit dogs will holler. Hit dogs will holler. And he was the first one to holler. And baby, when I tell you the stuff that he was saying to her, you could tell when somebody is lying or don't really have a leg to stand on and don't really have shit to say to back up the fucking claims, whatever. They start attacking their features. They're out of body. What does her weight and what does her body have to do with what she said, DL? Like, you lost me with that. You absolutely lost me with that. Like, it's so easy for a motherfucker to attack somebody's features. That's the most easiest thing to do when you ain't got nothing else. You ain't got shit else. So I'm gonna play a small snippet of the clip, and I'm sure Monique done seen his clip and she has a response to. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and then I'm coming back with my commentary. You know what? Scratch that. I'm gonna do a separate video of DL response, and I just found the response back to DL from Monique, so I'm gonna do a separate video on that. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'm gonna go ahead and just close out this episode right here, and yeah, I'll chat it up with you guys on the next episode. Later.